Shall we jump into goals in time, mate?
Go for it.
Shall we make this a bit of a friendly competition between you and other Celtic supporters that have been on?
So, I think Nathan probably did quite well though.
Yeah, Nathan got 39.
So.
I didn't realize he got 39. 39's a good score.
No,
I was going to say Paul as well, but football shirts, but he picked Scotland. So
did he?
If you want to go up against a fellow Scotsman as well, he got 54. But
Jesus. So the lower the better. That's good. Right.
Yeah. And in typical shirts in time style, goals in time style, we've mentioned this game by chance throughout the podcast, but I thought it might have come up anyway. So, because your first goal, Kieran, on the 7th of November, 2012, Celtic 2, Barcelona 1. And this is Wanyama's goal to make it 1-0.
It's Mulgrew to whip it in, and Victor Wanyama has scored. That moment when a dream becomes reality. Celtic have only gone and taken the lead against Barcelona again. Well, we almost thought they might be suspect.
I can only imagine being there, what that was like.
Yeah, I mean, the first goal, anytime you score against kind of Barcelona, like the first goal, you're celebrating, but you're almost thinking what's coming now. Like, have you walking the beast? So you're kind of a bit naive when you're celebrating. Because I think we played them away, and again we scored first, and they battered us 7-1. So Samaras scored. He scored the first, and then they absolutely battered us 7-1. So there's always that in the back of your mind. That can happen. They didn't give much away in the commentary, did they? Let me see. So I would say, I don't think it was just before half time, because I was at the game and I don't remember. The stadium would usually be rocking at half time if it was just before half time. So I'm going to say like 25.
That's a very good. I love that thought process. It was the 21st minute, but that thought process,
right. Yeah. Right, we'll take that.
So then that's giving you a score of 4, and then it will.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
I really like that thought process. You've used because sometimes people, when they say they're at the match, they kind of use it as like, oh well, I just can't remember it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was like, but I don't remember there being a kind of euphoric halftime, because usually when that happens in a European game, the fans will sing from the halftime whistle at the start of the second half, but I don't remember that. I think everybody was quite nervous, so it must have been
biting the nails. Yeah. So great start, Kieran. Your second goal, 29th of April 2018, Celtic 5, Rangers 0. And this is Odsonne Edouard making the score 2-0.
Was that last as well?
I normally like commentary when a goal scored, but I think that without commentary is just music to the ears, isn't it? Just that raw.
Yeah. The thing is, that when you hear
unless you're
that,
a Rangers fan, of course.
When you hear the kind of the ripple of the net as well, that kind of noise. It's difficult for those kind of eras with Celtic, because we always used to score about 4 or 5 against Rangers. So the second goal was usually in like the 3rd minute or something. I'm trying to think. So I can't remember if he scored 2 in that game as well at the same end. I think so. It was maybe the game after. So commentator was a bit excited there. Again, I think I might have been pretty early. I'm going to say 31.
41st. No, 41st. Not miles away.
That's all right. That's not too bad.
But like it is a bit harder without the commentary sometimes.
Yeah. especially with Ian Crocker's commentary as well, because he gets
Yeah.
really excited. Sometimes you can't tell with him because he's always excited, but
You know, I've
That's
just
what
realised
the-
I've realised I've done it. I've kind of really alienated Rangers fans here. I know you're a Celtic shirt collector and,
You're all right,
Celtic shirt seller as well, but
yeah,
there's a lot of goals against Rangers here, so I apologise, Rangers
that's
fans.
fine. You've done this for my benefit, so I could watch that all day. All good.
Your third goal on the 6th of February 2011, Rangers 2, Celtic 2. And this is Scott Brown's goal to make it 2-2. And for listeners and watchers who probably don't know, this goal is a very good goal in fairness to Scott Brown, but it's the celebration that's the more iconic moment.
Neil Hodgson, right. Let me think.
Made room for the cross. Maybe he might just have taken that away from Samaras, but here's Wilson. Brown! Brilliant! The captain shows the way! The 10 men of Celtic rally! It is 2-2!
Well, again, you've got to hand it to Neil.
I just had to include that celebration
That's
because
so iconic.
I cannot stand El Hadjouf. So
me too. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. So you said that was 2 each, wasn't it? That was
and the game finished 2-2 as well. Yeah.
So I'm trying to think because I know there was a sending off, I think, in that game as well, or maybe after that. I'm going to say 79.
65th.
65th. That was way off. Way off. That was one of the games I probably get caught up in the excitement watching that.
Yeah, I can see why. Did you ever? I know they don't allow away supporters in each stadium at the current moment in time. Have you been to a Old Firm at Ibrox?
Yeah, so that was me and my dad have actually got a unique record that we've never seen Celtic get beat at Ibrox. So yeah, so one of my pals, he works for Celtic. So he's really good at getting his tickets for the kind of obscure games and the ones that you can't really get to. So I'm kind of really lucky again that I've got him in my life that I can get these tickets. So yeah, he always used to get me and my dad tickets. That was when we had the kind of full stand, but
yeah,
that was some of the best days. See, when you're in the minority, and obviously we were really successful during that time, which is part of the reason that we're not allowed to go anymore because we're not allowed to have parties. So yeah, it's definitely the best feeling. I've got a friend who's a Hibs fan as well. I've actually seen Hibs. I've been in the Hibs end when they beat Rangers at Ibrox. So actually, a funny story about this. So don't know if you remember, there was a player played for Hibs called Chris Kieran from New Zealand.
No, his name doesn't ring a bell, but
he was horrific. He was try to compare him to somebody.
If he's horrific, you'll have his shirt then, won't you?
I don't actually. I could never have that. I could never have that. So anyway, he was really bad. He was one of these kind of what you call them, target men that scored two goals a season. So my pal Darryl, he invited me to the Hibs Rangers game. It was in the cup, and we were obviously in the away end. And Chris Killen scored a hat trick that day, right? But the funny thing was, don't know if you know Scott Brown and Kevin Thompson. So they were at Hibs as kind of like the kind of up and coming best youth Scottish players. So they were both at Hibs, and Kevin Thompson was starting for Hibs that game, and he was getting booed by the Rangers fans because he was supposed to come to Celtic. That was what the papers were saying. And Scott Brown was sub, but he was warming up and he was getting applauded because he was supposed to be going to Rangers. So can you imagine being in a stadium and an Ibrox packed stadium where Scott Brown was getting applauded? So that's another unique thing. And then they ended up going to opposite teams. So that was quite funny. So that was a unique experience so that was good. But yeah, winning at Ibrox is the best feeling, and obviously like winning on that Sunday there when we had a depleted team. I think everybody would have taken a draw at the start of the game, so it definitely made the international break a bit sweeter.
Oh yeah, I can imagine, mate. I said to Paul, I was just like, I know Celtic have got depleted squad and things like that. I just can't. There seems to be a big gap between the two at the minute.
Yeah, I think, well, obviously Celtic had went into that game having lost in the league, lost in the cup, sorry.
In the cup, yeah.
And dropped points in the league, so they weren't in the best of form, and Rangers had their tails up a bit. Even though they'd had a bad defeat in Europe, I think they were expecting full house at Ibrox, no Celtic fans, no Celtic defence. And I think it kind of worked. That's where I think the fans things worked against them, maybe, because I think it's been a bit counterproductive. Because when Rangers don't have a good start, the fans get on their back instead of the opposition.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think it's maybe had a detrimental effect to their form unless they get an early goal. So, but anyway, worked in our favour on Sunday, so pretty happy.
And like you say, that's a class record to boast, isn't it? Never seen so. You probably if you've seen Hibs win there as well, you've probably never seen any team lose there.
That's true. That's the only non-Celtic game I've been to Ibrox. So 100% record as a Hibs fan as well.
Can't complain then, can you?
Yeah.
Your fourth goal, Kieran. 25th of May, 2019. Hearts 1, Celtic 2. And this is Odsonne Edouard wrapping up another treble treble.
At the same age. Oh, that's broken through for Edouard! Celtic do it again!
That's some masterful commentary there, because he mentions the goal score and then he just hears the roar and he's just silent for a good 5 to 10 seconds.
He just lets it go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a tough one, actually. So that would have been, I'm going to say 74? 71.
71. It was the 82nd.
Ah. Just edit that bit. Forget
If I'm being, these aren't bad guesses at all. You're getting a lot of people. It's a lot of averages. Some people might have an absolute blinder, and then they'll have a horror show, and it just completely kills the score. But you're getting a nice average, some nice averages here. So
I'll take that.
And
that's the thing where Edouard scored so many goals. It's trying to remember them. Nightmare.
And again, sorry, Rangers fans, but this is the 5th and final goal.
Go for it.
26th of February, 2023. So this year, Rangers 1, Celtic 2, and this is Kyogo's goal. I think it's his second goal of the game as well to make it 2-0.
Yeah. So I was at that as well. I can't actually remember much about that game as well. Probably remember more about the ones before. I'm going to say 33. That's
56.
56. I wasn't sure if it was in the first or second half. Because I'm trying to think, because Celtic always shoot the other way in the first half. That's why.
Yeah.
That's bad. Historically, I'm good. Anything recent, terrible.
The more recent one is thingied you there. You finished, Kieran, on a final score of 62.
Oh, that's terrible.
Which puts you. Oh, I need to sort this league table out. It puts you in 8.
Good.
Yeah. I could probably. Should I start a new league table now and just put so you're top?
Yeah, joint top. Just that.
There's just so many people in it. It has put you in 18th, but there's now 4 of you. Oh no, sorry, no. Yeah, 18th by yourself now.
That's
right. Yeah.
I'll take 18th. That last one scuppered me.
Yeah.
Still
you were doing really well really well with the averages, and then it's the most recent goal that sees you
said
off.
That. Kiss it there. That's what it is.
Oh, it's my fault. My fault and Kyogo's fault.
just deflecting everywhere I can.
Well, that's us done, mate. Thank you very much for coming on.
Nice one, Jake. Been a pleasure. Enjoyed it.
For anyone who doesn't know about yourself and where they can get Celtic shirts and possibly some rest of the world shirts, if you have some small amount in, feel free to give yourself a shout out and the plug of where they can find you.
Yeah, so the Instagram page is the Glasgow Celtic Wear. I would say I'm available working hours, but my wife will say 24 hours. So, and then I've got a stall at the Barras Market in the East End in the Gallagate, open 10 till 4 every weekend, apart from when there's a Glasgow Derby game, and then we take a day off. So, message me, give me a follow, have a look at the page, see what you like. Again, rest of the world shirts, try and source what I can for people. And do my best to spread the word of Celtic shirts.
Just before we quickly wrap this up, listeners, I have a potential news coming next week in the podcast, just to say a little thank you for listening to the podcast and watching and sharing and whatnot. But yeah, so keep your eyes and ears peeled for some potential news coming with the podcast, just to say thank you. Yeah. Thank you again, Kieran, for coming on. It's been an absolutely classmate, and we'll and ah over that Celtic shirt.
Nice one. I'll wait for your answer.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Goals in Time. If you could please subscribe and hit the notification bell, it would do me a massive favour. Also, don't forget to follow the podcast on all socials at Shirts in Time Pod.